Hello everybody, Shelly here. Thought I would try something that I've never done before. And I'm a little nervous. I absolutely adore Allie Glines. She's a YouTuber. She's got a fantastic platform. I think one of the things that I love about her is that she doesn't do anything that's too crazy. She just looks beautiful at the end of her tutorials. Her voice is very soothing and very melodic, and sometimes I just listen to her and it's just relaxing. She seems very sweet. She lives in Utah. She has a line of makeup cosmetic type bags, like storage cube type things that are a lot of fun. I think I bought 3 sets from her already, so I'm very supportive of her. I don't know her personally. We're not friends. I thought it would be fun to do one of her more recent videos where she did like her everyday fall makeup. Now, Shelly, why would you do that? Don't you know how to do makeup on your own? I do. Or at least I think I do, but it's always fun to learn new things. And I thought it would be fun to take somebody who's significantly younger than us ladies of a certain age, try to use some of the same products that they use on the daily, and just kind of, hi Zeus, dog. Her face looks totally different than mine. Not just like structure, but just age. I mean, like she's significantly younger than I am. So I'm gonna pull up her video here, and I think I have the majority of the products that she used. I honestly think there's only just a couple things that I don't have. So the video, and I'll link it down in the description. Her video is called My Favorite Everyday Makeup for Fall. So I'm gonna start with the Too Faced Hangover Prescription Primer. The key is that, you know, use what works for you. If you happen to have these, great. I was just kind of surprised. I was like, hey, I have so many of these. I've never done one of these videos where I've followed along with somebody else's tutorial. I've never even followed along with one of my tutorials. So it's unusual for me. I tend to get inspiration from other people's videos, but to actually follow along with it, I've never actually done. So it looks like then she's talking about her foundation. And again, I'm just using the Maybelline Fit Me. So she's applying it with a brush first, and then I think she uses a damp beauty blender after it. So I'm gonna use just like my IT Cosmetics foundation brush. You guys, I forgot how much I love this foundation. It's lightweight enough that I don't really even feel it, but yet it seems to look pretty good on the skin. Okay, so after she puts on her foundation, she's kind of going back over it with her damp sponge and kind of just like pressing it into the skin a little bit. I think the idea is it's kind of like just like a light foundation without being too perfect, too full coverage, that kind of thing. So she's got that NARS Soft Matte Concealer. I'm going to use this one from e.l.f. and I tend to just put it directly on my skin and then use a brush if I need to. I think she's using a brush that's kind of similar to this. We will blend out that concealer. And again, I try to keep it down below these wrinkles, you guys. We already know I'm not young, right? We already know I'm not a makeup artist. Those things are just kind of a given. But I'm also not perfect, and I'm okay with that. Like, I know I have some age spots up here. I know that I have, you know, some moles and some just kind of discoloration. We're gonna leave it. I think it looks way more natural to have some of those kind of poking through than to be just like mask-like. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Oh, and then she uses her sponge to kind of press in over the top of it. I think she's just sort of lightly bouncing it, making sure it's blended in as smooth as possible. Okay, she's talking about contouring. Now, I don't think I have the same contour that she does. This is the NYX. It's a dual-ended, it's called a Wonder Stick. So I've got like a lighter color, probably more of a concealer on one side, and then an actual contour on the other. And I don't think this shade is horribly bad. She's got kind of a bigger stick that she's using. And I thought about grabbing like one of the Juvia's Place ones, but I did not. So I think she's doing something like that. And I'm just kind of following along my cheek bone right there. And then she's doing around her hairline, and I think my hairline is not quite as high up right here as hers is, but we'll do a few in there. And then she's doing a little contouring on her nose. I don't ever do this very well. So I feel like this is kind of, I did it along the jawline. She's doing that. And then she uses her same brush, blending it out here a little bit, I guess. Just kind of trying to follow along with her here. Blending out the jowls. And then she uses her damp beauty blender again, just to kind of press out around the edges, make sure everything is relatively seamless. Okay, It's not looking too bad. I mean, that's not that far off of what I normally do. It's a little bit different following along with somebody else. Okay, then she uses setting powder. And I think she was saying any like super light, like blurring powder will work. I'm just kind of putting this underneath my eyes, which I don't normally do because of all that sort of crepiness. But you know what? I'm not wearing glasses today, so it won't look so bad. And I'm just using this, you know, lightest amount and a very lightweight powder here, which I think is what she's doing. Okay. And she actually powders her brows too when she's doing this, so we're gonna go ahead and do that as well. I think that's probably the only thing that I don't really do. I have a piece of glitter right there. Don't know where that's coming from. Okay, so now she's going in with the Benefit Precisely My Brow, and she brushes them up first. She says this is like a super reliable brow pencil, and I would say that I kind of agree with that. Okay, she just kind of sped through that, so let me handle this a little bit here. So I think I've got caught up to where she is. She's going into the Too Faced Melted Chocolate, what is it called here? Yeah, Melted Chocolate Matte Eyeshadow. And I haven't ever used this before, so this is a first impression for me as well. I did get the same color that she did, which is the Warm and Fudgy. When I first looked at it, I thought this is a little dark, so I'm gonna show you guys here. It's a dark color, but it's cool toned. And she says, here's the thing with this, you can do, you know, you can put it directly on your lid, you can use a brush, you can use a bunch of different other ways to do it. But she says do one at a time and it dries down. So I'm just gonna put some on a brush here. And I think she does say a little goes a long way, so I probably just have too much on here right now. I don't have any other eyelid primer. This is actually gonna be my eyelid primer. I'm gonna start with it down kind of by the lash line. I'll be real curious to see how this works on mature hooded eyes. Okay, that color is actually really pretty. Do you guys know about these? I've never used these before. I'm just gonna give myself a little shape here. I'm probably going higher than she is. We're gonna try that, and then I'm gonna take a clean brush and just sort of clean up and sort of diffuse that so it becomes more of a transition shade. Okay, that's actually really kind of pretty. How far does she go up on hers? I think she has more eyelid real estate than I do. So she says you can wear these alone or wear them as an eyeshadow base, and I actually can see that. Like, I think for maybe even a glasses look, it may be a little darker than what I'm used to, but I think it's actually really pretty. And then she says she takes a little bit and kind of drags along the bottom here. Okay, so I think that's all she's done here. Yeah, and so of course the shadow that I applied on the back of my hand, just like in hers, this is already dried down. Like, this isn't budging. These are surprisingly easy to work with, and I like the idea of doing it one at a time. She cleaned it off her hand. I'm gonna do it when I'm done. I'm not gonna do it right now because I want to get through this. Okay, so she talks about using like muted warm palettes. I grabbed 3 that I think have kind of like a similar color story. She's got the Persona Cosmetics Identity palette. So this one looks similar to it. This is the Honest Beauty eyeshadow palette, and I've used this recently, so I don't know that I want to use it, but it's pretty close. I also grabbed these 2 from Zoeva. This one's the Cocoa Blend palette. I think this color and maybe one of these 2 looks similar to what she uses, so I might try this one. And then I also grabbed the Zoeva Cafe palette, which looks like this. And I think this is just a little bit different of a tone than what she's using. So we're gonna skip this one, I think. We're gonna use the Cocoa Blend palette from Zoeva. She uses kind of like this little warmer, like a little bit of a warmer nude color. So I'm gonna use this one right here, which is called Freshly Toasted, which is kind of like a little bit of a warmer shade. Now, I'm not gonna be able to do this and watch her at the same time. So I think she just kind of keeps this out to the outside. Same normal thing that I think we always do, but she's using that melted chocolate as her, you know, primer, and then of course dragging it down a little bit because why not try to connect the dots? Okay, so she's just using it on the outside, outer portion of the upper lid. This is actually very soft, you know, I mean, for being kind of darker, but just kind of warm and chocolatey. Okay, and then she uses kind of a shimmery taupe. I'm gonna use this one here called Subtle Blend. It's kind of the more cooler of the taupes that are in here, and I think she's using a brush, but I'm just going to use my finger because that's just sort of what I do with shimmers. Hers actually I think is probably a little lighter than this. There's another shade in here called Sweeter End. I might try adding that just a little bit over the top because I think her look ends up being a little bit lighter, whereas mine is kind of significantly darker and smokier than what she's going on right now. Got a little bit of a flat brush. I'm going to go into this shade here called Sweeter End. This is probably more along the lines of, oh yeah, see that's more what she has. And it's just kind of like a cooler taupe. She's blending it into the warmer colors on the outside. She took her brush with the powder on it just to kind of dust away anything here. Okay, so we're gonna go into the same mascara that she used. I just happen to have it. It's not open yet. It's been a long time since I think I've used this, although it's a great mascara. I think that's probably the reason why I had it still as like a backup, because it's a good mascara and I like using it. I just have been trying other things here. So this is just black. This is the L'Oreal Paris Voluminous Original. I think that's the same thing that she's using. So we're gonna put on quite a bit of mascara because I'm not wearing eyeliner today. We're just going with the softer fall look. So I'll be right back. Okay, I put on 2 coats of mascara. It is a new mascara. I like a mascara that's been open for a couple days. Then she's using her bronzer. So she uses this Milani bronzer. I don't know how much she's using, but we're gonna put a little bit of that on. Weird for me to do like a contour and a bronzer. I don't normally do that. I guess it's just like an extra step that I don't normally pay attention to. But since we're following instructions. So she's doing it around her jawline. So then she switches over to highlighter. And of course I don't have the same highlighter, but I'm trying to decide if I want to use this Ciate London one. It's pretty gold. So let's look at this Hourglass one here. I've got 3 different shades in here. These are pretty subtle. We're just gonna mix a couple of these together. Do you guys use highlighter for like everyday makeup? Just out of curiosity. I feel like highlighter is usually kind of like when I want to do something a little special. Oh yeah, so she's using this too, just in her inner corner, so I'm just gonna grab one of them. Okay, so then she's talking about blush, and she's using, hers looks significantly newer than mine does. Mine's a little bit old, I think. I think she talks about in the fall, she likes to use kind of a more of a muted blush. But she still likes blush, so this is kind of just sort of in between. I forgot about this blush, but now I'm kind of like, maybe I need to get a new one. And she's bringing it all the way down. So we'll bring it a little further. And then I think she goes over the whole thing and kind of just sort of smooths out any edges. It's actually looking pretty good. Okay, and then she's talking about lipstick. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use the KKW. This is the 2.5 nude. I'm gonna line my lips, and then I'm gonna kind of just bring it in just a little bit because I kind of want a little ombre look here. So I've lined my lips. She talks about 90s lipstick. I don't want the whole Kim Matthews, Eminem's wife's lipstick. Okay, so I have 2 of these. One of these is 4 and one of these is 5. I think I'm going to use the lighter one. Oh yeah, it actually looks similar to the color that she has. I think her lipstick might be just a little bit more warm. What else does she have going on here? I think she's just kind of like touching up with the foundation brush. I think her blush might be a little bit bolder than mine now that I look at it. So I'm going to go back in. She's doing a little bit more blush. This shade might be too subtle for me to go quite with the same sort of blush look that she has, but I actually don't mind it. I actually think it's kind of pretty. This is from the person who has like this gross over abuse of blush thing that she normally likes to do. See, even old dogs can learn new tricks. All right, you guys, I'm loving this so far. What else does she do? She's using the setting spray. This is the Too Faced Hangover, I think. And then she goes back over it, making sure she doesn't have any water drops. Oh, and then she uses her brow gel. And we'll just add a little brow gel up here. And that's it. That's what Allie Glines did in her everyday fall makeup look. I actually really like this, you guys. I like this kind of softer, smoky look without having like too much eyeliner. This is my trying to follow along with somebody else's makeup tutorial, which I've never done before. I've taken inspiration from other people. Like I took some notes from a Natasha Denona masterclass for mature hooded eyes recently, and I used it last night, and I was just like, wow, okay, That's a different technique than what I'm used to. So I think it's fun to kind of try something different. I'll link Allie's video below. I'd love to know if you guys try Allie's tutorial, what you think. Like this, to me, this is probably a little bit more glam than what I would do on like an every day, but that doesn't mean I don't love it. And I think it's actually really pretty. This feels like a good makeup day. This was fun. This was fun to try to do this. I would love your comments. Let me know what you guys think of following along with other makeup artists' tutorials and seeing if the things that they do on much younger faces, if it translates to a lady of a certain age. All right, you guys, I hope you're doing really well. Feel free to subscribe and follow me over on Instagram if you would like. Just a reminder, at 250 subscribers, I'm gonna try to do a giveaway, and I hope you guys are doing very, very well. And until my next video, bye for now.